Good afternoon. Welcome to our vlog. Say hi. See, we cranky. We're about ready to eat some lunch, huh? What should we eat? Think we're gonna feed him some sweet potato? Or do you want? Let's see, what else did we get? Or do you want pumpkin? I think we want, oh, I wanted you to try this one really bad, so let's try this one. The sweet corn and green beans. What's brother doing? Are you watching him? Just one of our regular day routines. Brother doing the dishes. Are you doing the dishes? Huh? Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I got a dishwasher. Yes, I do. Say hi. He's like, get away from me.
Yeah.
So it's about 7 o'clock, and Brendan, my fiance, for people that don't know, Cash's dad, my son, Cash is, he'll be 7 months old in like 11 days. I can't believe it. But he's putting him to bed. He goes down for bed at 7:30 every night. So I wanted to do my sleep training talk. Something very important for sleep training to know, one of the important tips is wake windows. So an awake window is amount of time your baby can handle being awake in one stretch. So, and I'll go ahead and link a picture up here of wake windows for 6 to 7 months, and then wake windows for 12 to 14. His wake windows just changed at 6 months, so now he has to be up for so it's 2.5 hours, then his first nap, 3 hours, then his second nap, 3.5 to 4 hours, then bedtime. So that's what he's currently on. So currently now he's only taking 2 naps a day. Now that he's 6.5 months, he's only taking 2 naps. He still gets up at the same time and goes to bed at the same time. Another important tip, you never want to let your baby sleep for longer than 2 hours at a time for a nap. So if they sleep exactly 2 hours, you go in there and you wake them up. Just never longer than 2 hours. Another one as well is for the last nap of the day, don't ever let them sleep past 4:30. Because if you let them sleep past 4:30, it's going to be hard to put them down by that 7:30 bedtime. If you are okay with a later bedtime, then you can let them sleep past 4:30, but not if you want to put them down at that 7:30 bedtime. And another tip as well is when you're doing this, you want to make sure, if you're going to feed them before naps, that you are in a well-lit room with, like noise in the background, like just so that your baby is just alert and not thinking it's time to go to sleep, because you don't want them to eat and fall asleep to them eating. You want to get them out of that habit. So you feed them in a well-lit room, stuff going on still, and then you wait like 10 minutes so that you're not laying them down right after eating, and then you go into the routine of putting them to sleep. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get into how to sleep train, like the routine that I did. So I'm gonna start off with some tips first. Sound machine. I'll go ahead and link below the sound machine I have. It's amazing, I love it. It's Bluetooth, it's got a night light on it, and he did not sleep very well until I got a sound machine. So sound machine, very dark room. Right now, I have blankets up on the windows. If you can't afford to get blackout blinds, or you're waiting on them, or just for temporary fix, I'm moving soon, so I didn't put up my blackout blinds, but I'll link below the blackout blinds that I got on Amazon. They work awesome. Make sure the room is completely dark, like make sure it's as dark as possible. And then the third thing is a sleep sack. Very, very important. Sleep sack, no swaddling. When you're ready to sleep train, you gotta cut out anything that helps them sleep, like that gives them like a, what's the word, like a crutch to sleep. Like rocking is a crutch, binky is a crutch, unless if they can get their binky and put it back in their mouth, or if they're teething. Currently my son is teething right now, so I do let him sleep with a binky because it's the only thing that calms him down. But and right now it's actually been very hard him sleeping through the night because he's teething, so that's been hard. I haven't been getting much sleep with that. He's been getting up quite often. The fourth thing is baby monitor. Make sure you have a baby monitor that you can see visual and you can hear sound, because I would have not have been able to do the sleep training without a baby monitor. There's no way, because I had like anxiety throughout the process as it was. If I didn't have a baby monitor, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So I actually waited for my baby monitor before I did this. So those are the things: dark room, sound machine, sleep sack, and I'll link all this stuff down below, and baby monitor. When you start this process, make sure you can dedicate at least a week to not leaving the house. So no car rides, no stroller rides, nothing that can soothe your baby to sleep. So dedicate a week. Took me about a week and a half for my son Cash to get him sleep trained. Once you start this, it's very important to just finish it, because if you start it and then you go through like a couple days of it and then you just like cave in and you stop, then he went through all that crying. The baby went through all that crying process for nothing. So just make sure you're ready to start. And then a very important thing, do not start this before 16 weeks. Your baby is 16 weeks, because your baby's just not ready to self-soothe themselves. They're not ready to sleep on their own before 16 weeks. I personally wasn't comfortable with 16 weeks. That's like the technical time that you're allowed to. I waited till 5 months. So he was 5 months old when I started. Now he slept in his bassinet in my room for all the way until 5 months old. So as soon as I started sleep training, I took him out of his bassinet. He was in a swaddle. I took him out of his swaddle. He was in a Snuggle Me organic sleep lounger that was in his bassinet. I took that away. And so this was his very first time going from my room in a bassinet to his room in his crib. So it was like all of it at once. And that's the best way to do it, because you're just gonna have to keep sleep training. If you sleep train them with the lounger in the bed, and then you take the lounger away, you're gonna have to sleep train, because that's something that comforts them. Like they have to know how to fall asleep just by themselves, nothing in the crib, them and the sleep sack. So that's very important. Just gotta make sure that you're ready to cut out everything that helps them sleep and just go all into it. It is not easy. I cried every day. I cried multiple times a day. I kept questioning myself, is it something that I should do? Like, should I stop? You just have to make sure that you're ready and that it's something that you want to do. You absolutely do not have to sleep train. It's not something required, but your babies, they're never gonna learn how to sleep if you don't teach them, and that's what sleep training is. And it's just all about doing it the right way and not doing it too early, doing it at the right time and the right way. Oh. How I did it was I developed a routine. You want to have a routine so that they know when it's time for sleep. So my routine is I go into the room, change his butt, put his sleep sack on. Then I pick out a book. I get gripe water. He loves gripe water. It helps. If you guys don't know what that is, it's an all-natural supplement that helps with reflux, and also helps with hiccups if your baby gets hiccups. And he just loves it. It's just part of our routine now. So get the gripe water. I put teething gel. So if your baby's teething, I put teething gel on his gums. I do this every single time. Put him in a sleep sack, change his butt, gripe water, teething gel on his gums. We pick out a book together. We sit down and we read the book together while he's drinking his gripe water. And I have it in one of those free to baby pacifiers. I'll link it down below. It's like a pacifier syringe, and it saved my life. Like, it's the best thing ever. Best $15 I've ever spent. And after we read the story, I pick him up and we go put the book away together. Then we turn on his sound machine. The room's already dark. I already have the blinds down. So after the sound machine's on, I'll then start the timer on my phone, because I like to know how long it takes me to put him down. Then after I set the timer on my phone, shut off the light, and I sit there and I stand there with him, and I wait, and I make sure it's for 5 minutes and it's not longer than that. And I just sit there calm and wait for him to calm down and get to that like middle stage, not where he's completely sleeping in my arms, but not where he's wide awake. I just wait for him to get to a happy medium where he's tired, ready to go down. And normally it's around 5-7 minutes on my timer, so that's why I keep my timer out. And so once that's done, the 5 to 7 minutes, then lay him down, give him a kiss, tap him on the belly, say I love you, good night, and I walked out the door. And the very first day was so hard. It was so hard. He did make it to 45 minutes of crying. Now, that's the longest that I went, but it wasn't like a straight 45 minutes. Like, I'd go in and I'd check on him after 10 to 20 minutes. And if he was like just straight crying, like no breaths, just crying straight, I would go in sooner. But if he would like cry with pauses, then I would let him cry for 20 minutes at a time. Then I'd go in there, I would pick him up for a second, say it's okay, lay him back down, pat him on the stomach, give him a kiss, say I love him, walk back out, let him cry for another 20 minutes. And I did that all the way up until 45 minutes. And if he made it to the 45 minutes and he still was crying and he still didn't go to sleep, then I'd pick him up, I would get him out of his sleep sack, I'd open up the blinds, pretend like his nap is over, and go back on the living room, do our routine. He would try to fall asleep in my arms. Do not let them fall asleep once you get him back up for at least 30 minutes. I put on a timer on my phone, on my stove, whatever, put on a timer for 30 minutes. Keep them awake, tickle them, play with them, make sure that they're awake, and then go into it all over again. Start the nap again, like, okay, now it's time for another nap. And then you just start the same exact thing over. Do your routine, lay them down, walk out of the room, let him cry for 20 minutes, and I took that baby monitor and I stared at that baby monitor the entire time. And it made me feel so much better being able to see him, because if I just heard him crying, I'd be so scared that something was wrong. And then you also have to pay attention to their cries. There might, like, if you know your baby's cries, you can tell when your baby's distressed, and you can tell when your baby just wants you to comfort them and wants you. So pay attention to their cries. It's very important. If they're distressed, it's not going to break the whole routine. Go in there and help them. They're not going to it's not going to ruin the whole routine, because that's what I was worried about at first, but it's not. You'll just go right back into it. It's not going to hurt anything. If they're in distress, go in there and comfort them, and then just go right back into the routine again. And I could tell the difference between his cries. Not at first. I want to say the first 3 days, it took me a while to tell the difference between his cries. So that was the hardest part about it all. And this is not, I just want to let you guys know, this is not something that was easy for me. And that's why I wanted to make this video, because it saved my life doing this sleep training. So I just did that same routine for all 3 naps and for bedtime. The same exact routine every time, 45 minutes every time. And I want to say he only had to get up and pretend like the nap was over twice. He made it to 45 minutes 2 times. It was so hard. By the end of the first week, it got easier, a lot easier than the first 4 days. And then it took about another half a week for it to be where I just laid him down. Hold him for 5 minutes, lay him down. He's fine. He doesn't cry at all. That was like the biggest accomplishment and like the best feeling ever, to be able to just lay him down and not have to like slowly lay him down and like sneak out of the room. It was the best feeling ever, because I was having to rock him for 30 to 60 minutes, and then I would slowly lay him down, and then I'd walk out of the room, and 30 minutes later he's up again. And I did all that hard work for 30 minutes of him sleeping and for 30 minutes of free time and being able to breathe and relax. So it was very, very, very stressful. It started to take a toll on my mood, started to take a toll on my body, and I just wasn't like, I just felt like I was getting frustrated with him. And once I felt like I was getting frustrated with him, I was like, okay, I gotta change something. I gotta do something. I don't want to be frustrated with him at all. So that's why I started the sleep training process. So no, it's not just letting your baby cry for an hour straight and not going in there and taking care of your baby. That's not how it works. And you do not want to do it that way. I do not recommend you do it that way. So yeah, that's the exact routine I did. If you guys have any questions like that, because if I didn't cover something, or if you have any questions about something, comment below for sure, and I will get back to you, because I had so many questions and it was so hard, and I didn't have something to reference to. Also, if you want me to do a video on how I got him to sleep through the night and my routine, like I'll make a video of our routine, like what we do, let me know in the comments below as well. So I hope that helps somebody out there, even if it was just one person. I really hope it helps somebody, because it really, really helped me to sleep train, and I'm so glad that I did, and I hope that you guys do too. So go ahead and subscribe. It will notify you, and then hit the notification bell, and it'll notify you when I post another video. And that way you can see more of my videos too if you subscribe, because if you don't subscribe, it's like hard to find the channel, so it's just easier just to subscribe, so you can hit your subscribe button on your YouTube at the bottom. So go ahead and do that, and then hit a like on the video if this helped you. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.